What are they hiding? I, Azruddin Mohamed, leader of the opposition, am prepared to undertake this salvage operation. I have already engaged international partners who have assured me they have the equipment, expertise, and capability to bring the MV Barima to the surface. Give me the permission to float this vessel. I will recover the vessel so that the COI can be properly conducted. I will do everything possible to recover the remains of those still trapped, provide families with the closure they deserve, and ensure that every piece of evidence is preserved. If the government truly has nothing to hide, then there should be no objection to bringing up the MV Barima. The government's decision to leave the MV Barima at the bottom of the Atlantic is premature and wicked. It is a decision that should not have been made while scores of families are still waiting on their loved ones who are still missing. To abandon the MV Barima now is an act of cruelty toward those families. Families have reached out to me saying they want the bodies of their loved ones, even if all that remain are bones.
All I'm kindly asking the president is to get off the boat because I really need my brother. If it's a bone, I just need it. I don't want no memorial, nothing.
It will bring closure. The government did not exhaust every possible option. They have not sought out international help with the expertise and equipment to recover that vessel. Yet, they are already talking about turning it into a memorial. There is a reason this administration does not want the MV Barima brought to the surface. What are they hiding? The vessel was overloaded and should not be carrying the volume of cargo it was carrying. One of the engines was down, and an overloaded vessel needs both engines, especially to navigate rough waters. We have heard from the captain who they arrested and charged for murder.
Everybody knows the whole vessel is going to be the one is 87 years old in that vessel. The vessel have a lot of history, the vessel anchor walking, the vessel radar don't have a radar, the vessel don't have a surf and rescue transponder, the vessel don't even have a keyboard. Oh God, boy, oh. Look at those life rafters, those life rafters expired since 2022, and maritime inspection and they now right after the festival, look things like that. Look at the life raft and their expired since 2022. Why the government doing this for people? Why?
That the vessel had no functioning emergency position indicating radio beacon, EPIRB, no search and rescue transponder, an inoperable anchor, no operational radar, and life rafts expired since 2022. The Barima had been transporting construction materials and other cargo for big businessmen and those with major projects in Region 1. Cargo that should otherwise be transported by barge. We may never know the truth because they do not want to recover the vessel and let the evidence speak. Additionally, Minister Ejil's explanation does not add up. He referred to the vessel's gross tonnage, but gross tonnage is not the amount of weight a vessel can safely carry. It is a measure of a vessel's internal volume, used for regulatory purposes. The relevant figure is the vessel's dead weight, which is the maximum combined weight of passengers, cargo, fuel, water, and other loads that can safely be carried. The MV Barima's dead weight was 198 tons. Yet, Minister Ejil stated there were 268 tons on board.
The boat was not overloaded by passengers or by cargo. There was no engine problem or any mechanical problem. Even the survivors who made videos from the hospital, they're telling you what happened. And it had nothing to do with overload and boat taken in water. It had to do with the tide. Please be advised that the MV Barima is licensed to carry 284 tons of cargo. The cargo manifest shows that we had 268 tons, way below the cargo load. Secondly, the MV Barima is licensed to carry 397 passengers, and we only had 116 passengers on board. The misinformation of overloading as the cause of this incident must be dealt with for what it is. Misinformation and something to create panic and public mischief, and we debunk that in the very strongest terms.
Therefore, based on Egil's explanation, the vessel was carrying about 70 tons more than its dead weight capacity. It is Egil who should have been arrested and remanded to prison.
Breaking this afternoon, 3 crew members of the MV Barima passenger ferry that sank in Guyana were today charged with 72 counts of murder for all the lives lost when the vessel capsized. The 3 are the captain Kevin Price, chief mate Rondell Dwayne Roberts, and good superintendent Delon Granderson. The men are all employees of the Transport and Harbors Department in Georgetown. The deadly tragedy occurred on the night of July 18, 2026. While appearing at the Georgetown Magistrates Court earlier today, the men were overheard making statements about the state of the vessel.
Everybody knows the whole vessel is going to give me the one is 87 years older than vessel. The vessel have a lot of history, the vessel underwater. The vessel radar don't have a radar. The vessel don't have a start and rescue transponders. The vessel don't even have an e-port. Oh God, oh, look at those like graphics, those like graphics expired since 2022. And maritime inspection and they not right after the festival. Look things that happen here. Oh my God, look at the like graph them. They're expired since 2022.
Defense attorney Dexter Todd is representing the 3 men. Speaking with members of the media earlier today, Todd addressed the charges against his clients.
We know so far that the disclosure is that 72 bodies were recovered, and so they were charged for all 72 of those persons. We listened to the prosecution, narrated the facts in relation to why they were charged, in terms of who have responsibility, and that the boat was overloaded. Now, you had the minister who was responsible for transport and harbor, came out and said on public television that the boat was not overloaded. And that was so pronounced. In every single press conference held by the Prime Minister, there was absolutely no indication that they found, in addition to the loading manifest, that they were able to establish the load of that boat. Now, you could imagine, there is a clear pronouncement yesterday that, and the fears of the Guyanese people, that we may not even see the boat back on water. So my thing is, how do they hope to establish the weight of that boat? How do they hope to establish that? This entire commission of inquiry that was announced by the president is a farce. Because the police have done what the commission of inquiry is supposed to do, and they have already come to a definitive conclusion on this matter. And so we have asked for an early disclosure. This matter was heard before the chief magistrate. It was transferred to the charity court, where it will be before the substantive magistrate, because that's the jurisdictional court. And that we have asked for early disclosure in the matter, which I believe is on the 3rd of August, because we intend, as I said today in court, we intend to make preliminary legal arguments in relation to this matter.
The MV Barima was built in 1939. It was 87 years old when it sank. while traveling from Georgetown to the northwest region of Port Kaituma. This is a developing story. We will continue to keep you informed as more information comes to us.